Visa is a privilege and not a right. Some visa applicants lie about their intent in traveling to the U.S. and they overstay. And overstay rates by category of person and country of origin should be tied to refusal rates.
That was Simon Hankinson testifying before U.S. Congress, talking about the need to protect Americans' visa system. It's a serious take. So watch the full clip and let me know what you think.
American flag.
First, what is a visa? Let's imagine America is a castle surrounded by a wall. Anyone wanting to visit the castle first has to go to the main gate in the wall. That's the U.S. Embassy. The guards will want to know who the visitor is, where he's from, what he does, and why he wants to enter the castle. They ask a lot of questions and do their best to verify the visitor's claims, but they're limited in what they can find out. If they're satisfied as to his identity and truthfulness, they give the visitor permission to go inside and knock on the castle door. And that permission is the visa. It gives the holder the likelihood, but not the right, of being let into the castle. When the visitor knocks on the castle door, the person at the door is a Customs and Border Protection inspector. He sees that the visitor's gotten past the guards, but he'll still ask questions to make sure he's satisfied before letting the visitor inside. Visas have three main vulnerabilities: fraud, vetting, and overstays. Fraud is a fact of life in visa work. It varies by place and person. But applicants, particularly in poor and corrupt countries, lie to get visas. I've been lied to thousands of times. Consular officers are unable to see or to verify accurate records for most applicants, so they have to use their professional judgment. Vetting means checking for criminal records or other ineligibilities. Consular officers, again, are limited to what the applicant presents and whatever exists in U.S. government databases, which don't include criminal records for most countries. Some visa applicants lie about their intent in traveling to the U.S. and they overstay. And overstay rates by category of person and country of origin should be tied to refusal rates. For example, recent reports from consular posts have shown high overstay rates from students of English as a second language. So in response, USCIS should strip schools whose students overstay at high rates of the right to admit foreign students, and the State Department should limit issuing student visas in those countries of origin. A visa is a privilege and not a right. Just as the passing stranger has no right to get into the castle, no one has a right to enter any other country but his own. We are under no obligation to admit foreigners who come to the United States to incite anti-Semitism or terrorism or to attack U.S. foreign policy. And the law gives the President and the Secretary of State wide discretion to keep undesirable foreigners out, and their use of this constitutional prerogative must not be obviated by judicial overreach. At the same time, the original scope of some visa categories has warped into something unintended by Congress. I'll give just a few examples. The purpose of student visas are for foreign nationals to study in the United States and then return home to build their own countries. Now, we can retain the very best, but it was never intended that every student visa automatically led to permanent residency. The optional practical training program, which facilitates this, is not statutory and should be terminated. The H-1B visa was created 30 years ago to fill a short-term need for skilled labor with a limit of $65,000 a year. Today, many H-1B workers are paid below the median wage for their occupations. H-1Bs disproportionately benefit large tech firms and foreign outsourcing companies at the expense of smaller employers and American workers. The H-1B has thus evolved from a temporary work visa into a de facto immigrant visa that disproportionately benefits one country, India. Today, the unemployment rate for recent college graduates is nearly 6%, which is twice the rate for all graduates. Up to 70% of science, technology, engineering, and math graduates don't even work in STEM fields. Yet, even as they lay off thousands of workers, major U.S. companies continue to petition for thousands of H-1B workers claiming they can't find qualified Americans. We need to return the H-1B program to its original scope and put our own children and workers first. There are almost 300,000 Chinese students in this country. Some of them spy against the U.S. government, companies, and university research programs. And we do have visa screening to prevent this, but Chinese applicants can come on a tourist or other visa and then change status to student without triggering that vetting. We should not allow this. Visa holders seeking to change their status to student, researcher, or worker should go home first and apply to U.S. embassies so they're properly scrutinized. The biggest vulnerability of temporary visas is that holders can claim asylum once in the U.S. And with lengthy process, appeals, and a massive backlog, it's too easy to use a fraudulent claim to remain indefinitely. Congress should restore integrity to our asylum laws and make it harder to claim on frivolous grounds. They should speed up the process, and we should all make sure that decisions are carried out. There are many other possible ways to increase efficiency and integrity of visas. For example, we could prioritize education and skills over family reunification. We could reduce the standard authorized stay to 90 days instead of 180. We could end the vague duration of status for foreign students and journalists. Consular officers could be encouraged to apply the public charge rule to prevent migration of probable indigents. Or we could let only accredited institutions with a good compliance record admit foreign students and cap the percentage of those students. Now, with our southern border no longer wide open and interior enforcement once again underway, we have the time to consider all of these ideas and more.